Sponsored in part by Montanore Vineyards, Taylor Electric, and Cardale Mountain Realty.
Utah State won the toss with the coin, elected to receive to start the football game, but they actually won't send their offensive unit out because of what happened on the kickoff. So let's set the Ducks up offensively, as they will actually have the first offensive possession. Right seat Kanaapu, Tattersall, Boatwright, Sunia back in there, and Collinsworth. And then the skill position players, Bill Musgrave, who became the all-time leader in total offense in Oregon history during the course of this game, Burwell, Kelemany, Thomason, and Michael McClellan. Defensively for the Ducks, up front, the trio, Labounty, Woods, Cummings. The linebackers, you see the change there with Douglas. The other three have started all the games this season. And the secondary, Oliver Derry Castle and Daryl Smith, who was last week's Sports Illustrated and Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Week. But he had a quiet week this week. They didn't really pick on him too much. So the opening kickoff, and right off the get-go, Coach, you get a break.
Oh, we do. It's a real short kick, and it's mishandled by Utah State, and David Massey, redshirt freshman from Jesuit High School, is there to make the recovery. You can see he just didn't keep his eyes on the ball, kind of looking to see where he's going to run, and David Massey, number 39, right there, pulls it in right into his chest, and we get a great break to start the game. One that we don't take advantage of, I might add.
First play we see is 2nd down and 10 from the Utah 28. Utah State on defense.
Musgrave scrambles up for a 6-yard gain.
3rd down and 3.
Nice job by Sean Burwell on a trap draw. That's a play we put in this week. We liked it so much that we'd been looking at it at BYU. We decided to put it in. Nice cut there by Burwell, taking it up inside and picking up the 1st down.
2nd and 1 from the 7. This is a touchdown, but Bill doesn't quite get that ball up high enough.
No, and then we do a terrible job of covering down and tackling and allow him to run it way out of there. Just a terrible job. And you can see that the guy that the pass was intended for, Jeff Thomason, ends up making the tackle. That doesn't say very much for our line covering down after the ball is thrown. Nice job on a little counter play there to Sean Burwell, right up the middle. As you remember, Kelemany makes a nice cut on the belly play up inside. We wanted to try to run between the tackles. Great job by Scott Boatwright at center there, getting a nice block and allowing the cutback lane for Kelemany.
Gain of 12. 1st down. This play is actually a 2nd down and 6 from the Aggie 48. You went to the tight ends a lot. Was that by design or just happened yesterday?
Well, it happened. Their corners are pretty good, and they did a good job covering our receivers, and we got the ball to the backs more out of the backfield in our tight end than we did probably our least productive game, getting the ball to the wide receivers. Complete pass to Burwell there with a tack-on personal foul, roughing the passer 15 yards after the completion. Same play we ran earlier, the trap draw, the new play that Burwell takes it in for the touchdown. You can see Sunia coming out and getting the trap here. Nice block by Kelemany up at the top, ties up their inside backer, and Burwell just goes in unmolested.
That was on a 3rd down and 7 play, and even the Duck could catch the football. So it's 7-0 midway through the 1st quarter. Again, Utah State is unable to move the football, so the Ducks get it back.
Nice catch there by Jeff Thompson. Reaches up with one hand and kind of rips it out of the air and then cradles it in his left hand and pulls it in for the reception. Sprint out pass here, nice block by Todd Gettison, and a completed pass to Michael McClellan.
He was down, no fumble, gain of 11. 1st and 10 at the Utah State 23.
And a little cross trap to Nalu Kelemany with the big running room. Our backs haven't quite seen holes like that up inside the middle of the line this year. I believe our offensive line is making progress, but we're certainly going to be tested this week big time up in Seattle.
So the ball is inside the 10-yard line. In fact, it's at the 5 on this play. Kelemany sifting his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Real nice cut there. You can see Boatwright, the whole left side, Tattersall and Kanaapu just collapsed the left side, and Kelemany sees the cutback lane and has the quickness to make that cutback on the belly play.
So the Ducks go 60 yards in 7 plays and now have a 14-0 advantage. First look at the defense on the day, and Marcus Woods stuffing up the middle.
That's Grant, who was ranked 4th in the NCAA in rushing coming into this contest, and you can see Marcus Woods just splits 2 blocks and makes the tackle in the backfield for a 5-yard loss.
So it's 2nd down and 20. After a 5-yard penalty, Lopez to throw, nobody open, down.
James Batista gets the sack. Actually, a delayed blitz there by Batista, and comes in unmolested. You can watch. You can see here, off to the right of your screen, you'll see Batista, number 45, come into the picture, and Lopez doesn't have a chance. He just pulls the ball down, and we get the sack. And now comes the biggest play of the game for Utah State, a pass that I felt we should have intercepted.
It's 3rd down and 27 from the 3-yard line.
3rd and a mile, and they get the pass up in the air. 2 of our defenders go up, Kemp and Muhammad Oliver, and the ball tips up in the air, and Castle's got great speed as he chases down their receiver and knocks him out of bounds.
Gain of 71 yards. So the Aggies trying to score, but it's Castle again coming up with a big play as he makes the interception in the end zone.
Under heavy pressure, nice job by Castle after running down and making it actually a touchdown-saving tackle. And you can see Brantley coming in here along with LeBounty, who's being held, gets pressure right up in the quarterback's face as he releases it, and Castle's over there to take the ball in for an interception.
So the first legitimate scoring attempt by Utah State is turned back on the turnover, the 2nd of the game. Burwell with that spin move that he's used quite effectively this year, and he gains 12.
Good blocking on the perimeter here, too. Nice block by Jeff Thomason, the tight end. Greg Phillips pulls around, gets a nice block, and Kellamini cuts down the corner, and Burwell spins forward for the 1st down, picking up about a 12-yard gain.
So the ball now at the Oregon 31-yard line.
Hand off back up inside, and Burwell just finds a crack and runs it up in there for about a 7-yard gain.
So it is 2nd down from the 41.
Hand off inside, another spin move. As you mentioned, he's pretty good at giving him part of his body and then taking it away and spinning forward for yardage.
Into the 2nd quarter we go. The Ducks have the football and are mounting a drive, trying to increase their lead from 14 to nothing. You see Coach Shelton, get back, everybody, get back. Musgrave to the air. Thomason over the middle. Gain of 25. Add on a face mask penalty, and the ball will be at the Utah State 14.
Fairly obvious face mask on this. Certainly lucky that Jeff didn't get his neck twisted off on this one. You can see the yank of that face mask twisting his neck around, and then the other Utah player coming in and pounding him for good measure. Nice pass and nice reception.
And on 1st down, Musgrave, a little pump fake to Thomason.
Great effort by Jeff Thomason, avoiding the tackle and getting it in for the end zone. Nice protection here, I might add. Andy Sunia coming out and picking up the outside backer. Musgrave's able to step up and find Jeff pretty much wide open out in the flat, and then Jeff makes a nice move and gets his hand down to balance himself and vault into the end zone.
So early in the 2nd quarter, the Ducks in command of this one. Each team had another series. We picked things up with about 10 minutes to play in the 2nd quarter.
Nice play by Darrell Smith, supporting on the sweep from the secondary for holding Utah State to about a 2-yard gain. Good pressure on the quarterback again, and Muhammad Oliver comes up with his first career interception. Won't be his last.
Very, very good athlete.
Matt LeBounty right up in Lopez's face with a nice pass rush move. You can see Castle over there with Muhammad, well covered on that play.
So the Ducks get it back at their own 43-yard line. 1st down play, and Musgrave going deep with the pump fake, and pass interference called against Utah State. You can see
trying to hit Ronnie Harris, who's one of our fastest receivers, on a little curl and go move, and he's interfered with, and we get a 1st down off the penalty. Screen pass here back to Nalu Kellamini, and a little surprised Nalu didn't make a little better cut on that down there as he ran right into the Utah State defender. you can see this play develop. It's a play we've used several times before. Kelemini slips out of the backfield, comes back against the flow. We get a good wall of blockers out in front of Nalu here, and he's looking to the inside, starts to cut back and cuts right into the Utah State defensive back.
But it's a big gain of 23 yards, and the Ducks once again deep in Utah State territory. This is a 3rd and 7. Nice job by Musgrave to avoid being sacked, and hits Thomason again, a gain of 12.
There was a lot of poise by Bill on that, and he hit him in there, and now he rolls out, being sacked, just about down, and throws up, and Thomason makes a great grab for the touchdown. You watch Musgrave out here. He's in the grasp. In the NFL, this probably would have been nullified, but he's definitely not down, and he's able to throw the ball off as he spun down, and kind of a dangerous pass, floating it up like that, but Thomason went up and made it a good throw.
A nice touchdown. And as a result, 28-0. Jeff, with 2 more touchdowns on the day, has 6 touchdown receptions for the year.
Good job in there by Marcus Woods and Joe Baggio. Marcus stuffs it at the point of attack. There's Baggio, kind of ducks under him, but he forces it back to Marcus, who had originally turned it back to Joe, and we hold him for a yard gain.
Tag team tackling, I guess.
Yes, that's about it. Great protection here, and the secret weapon.
This guy is
Utah State's got a big tight end. We got a bigger one. Ours is 6'7", 265. Dan Mitchell, redshirt freshman from up in the state of Washington, does a nice job here. Go up. He's a pretty big target anyway, and he can jump. He played basketball in high school and came in as a tight end before we moved him to tackle, and then resurrected him with the injuries to our tight end position this early fall.
Don't let Coach Munson see him going up like that. He might want to recruit him for hoops.
Yeah, a nice pass to Kelemini out in the flat again for the first down.
So the offense pretty much doing what it wanted to do at any time in this game, especially the second quarter. Kelemini, a little dump pass, and on 3rd down he picks up the first down.
And more importantly, gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
We're down to about 50 seconds to play in the first half.
Run the trap draw again to Burwell, and he picks up a nice gain and gets out of bounds after getting the first down again, stopping the clock.
43 seconds left. Ball at the Utah State 22.
Run a little scissors action here, great protection, and hit Reitzig, who came out of the slot and went outside and then up the field. You can see Reitzig at the top of your screen working from the inside to the outside and up the field. Musgrave did a good job looking the defense off, and Joe's wide open in the side of the end zone.
Third quarter with the Ducks in control of this football game, and they will get the football to start the third period of play. And I know coming out of the locker room, you wanted to maintain that momentum, the same kind of intensity and high degree of play, and you got a nice start here on the kickoff return.
We did. They obviously didn't want to kick off to McClellan. They kicked it on the ground, and we got some great return, a great return here anyway, and got up past midfield with a 48-yard return. McClellan is one of the top kickoff return people in the nation, and this certainly isn't going to hurt his statistical rankings in the United States. Good job of blocking up front by Jeff Allen as well as Dan Mitchell. Good job by Eric Castle out in front of him, and a 48-yard return.
Michael had averaged a little over 32 yards of return coming in, so indeed that will help. He just, I guess, would need to get enough to qualify at the national level.
Yeah. Nice.
You would prefer that he didn't, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I don't like to return too many of those things. Nice job here by the line. Great job by Tattersall, Kanapu, and I think that's Burwell's longest run of the game, 19 yards, right up between the tackles where we wanted to try to establish some movement. Look at the line surge there, and Burwell takes it up again for a nice gain. Just moved the whole Utah State defensive front off the ball about 3 or 4 yards on that one. Good job by Tattersall giving Musgrave time to throw and find Kelemini open in the flat for the first down.
Gain of 10. Ball is now 1st and goal at the Aggie 8.
Stepped out of bounds on about the 3.5-yard line. Good blocking out in front on the sweep. And an excellent job of running right there by Kelemini on the belly play, finding the crease back. He has real good cutback ability. You can see him hit it up in there. This is a trap play, nothing at the point of attack, and he just takes it completely outside to the left and uses the power and strength. You know, I know he was a tailback, but he's not a small back. He's 210, 212 pounds and has a little power.
You know, we compared him a little bit as far as the speed and quickness to a Lattenberry, but he's bigger than Lattenberry.
Well, he is bigger, not quite as fast, but certainly an excellent football player. Nice job by Matt LeBounty, grabbing the ankle. Containment, much like it was last week, the byword for our pass rush, and certainly against Washington it will be. But a nice job by LeBounty, hanging on and grabbing a shoelace to get the sack.
He finished with 2 sacks in this game. In fact, you see him once, you'll see him again. This one a great effort because he gets knocked down.
He does. It's a great job of keep coming, keep coming. He gets actually knocked to the ground, but he doesn't stay blocked. The old axiom in coaching, you can get blocked, but don't stay blocked. You can see LeBounty get knocked to the ground. Marcus forces the quarterback. LeBounty comes off the deck, comes back, and gets the sack. Gets help there with an assisted tackle from Marcus Woods.
Matt now leads the Ducks with 6 sacks on the season. So you got a new return man in there?
Well, Brian Brown is getting healthier and makes a nice cut here. And just another step of speed, and he'd have had a touchdown, and he knows it. He is upset. He knew that he had a chance to pop it. Good job here by him. He could have taken it outside, but he saw one Utah State player out there, so he took it up inside and just one step away from a touchdown.
So with a nice return of 22 yards, the Ducks have the football at the 24. New quarterback, John Ocken.
John's in there, drops back to throw, throws out in the flat to Kelemini for a short gain before stepping out of bounds.
So on 3rd down and 5.
Play action fake, good poise, and a nice catch there by Dan Mitchell. Just picked it off the turf. Pretty agile for a 6'7", 265-pounder. Nice run there by Corral. Now, I wish he'd have run that way the whole game. He looks awfully good early, and then maybe he got a little tired because he hasn't played that much. But here's a nice play by John Ocken, finding Mitchell, going away from Flo for the touchdown. He thinks he's Elvis Presley. I don't know.
Elvis at Autzen Stadium. We didn't realize that at the time. The diagram here of the play, and tell us how it worked.
Well, we've got Mitchell at the tight end here. I believe Anthony Jones in at the flanker. We're going to run Flo over this, thinking that we're going to flood over here, bring the flanker across, try to draw him, and get a little crossing action with Mitchell coming back. Get good protection here, even though we are releasing this tight end. And Ocken sets up and looks to Mitchell backside. And Mitchell runs a very nice route, and he does have excellent hands. He was a tight end in high school. He played basketball. He's just a little bigger now than he was at that time, but very good body control, and Ocken throws a perfect pass to him.
Not a hard guy to find in the secondary at 6'7", 265 pounds. Let's look at it again.
You can see Anthony Jones crossing across there, and then coming off, Ocken throws perfectly to Dan Mitchell, who makes a nice grab in the end zone. I want you to know, right after this play, I told him to take off 98 because he caught a touchdown. Now he had to play tackle the rest of the game.
So that means he would wear number 62.
62, correct.
So the Ducks on the board again with the 7th touchdown of the day after McCallum kicked the extra point.
We get fooled on the run fake there, and Roy Derry came up and bit on the fake and didn't play the deep zone and allowed them a deep completion into our territory. You can see here Gary Williams will do a great job of forcing it at the point of attack, collapses it. They have to cut back, and Joe Baggio's there along with Terrell Edwards, and then along comes Romeo Bandison for about a 1-yard gain.
And on a 3rd down and 10 play, Lopez to the far corner hits Tracy Jenkins for the touchdown, the lone score for the Aggies on the day.
Nice throw. Muhammad Oliver just got beat to the outside on it, and Lopez threw a perfect pass.
So you get the football back, and at this point, have you pretty much decided just to keep it on the ground?
Pretty much, yeah. I'd like to see the quarterbacks throw, but I also just want to run the clock out and not do too much more damage here. And we run a reverse here to Ronnie Harris. Didn't turn on the speed enough initially, came loping around the corner and broke one tackle there and picked up 11 yards.
So it is a 1st down. The next play we see is First and 10 at the 43.
Howard Blackwell, a nice block by Correll Robinson, and Howard Blackwell makes a nice 14-yard gain. Very good promise in this young running back. He's a true freshman out of Newhall, and you can see Correll gets a nice block right there, and Howard turns it up the field and protects the football and gets about an extra 3 or 4 yards after he's hit.
Nice run, gain of 14.
Correll now is starting to stutter a little bit. Instead of running it in there real hard, he actually stopped at the line of scrimmage and still picked up 5 yards. Aachen on a little quick throw out there, quick hitch pass to Ronnie Harris.
Gain of 5 and a first down. The next play we see is 2nd down and 9.
Trap play to Correll, runs in there real hard. Nice run by Correll.
Gain of 11. And on the final play of the 3rd quarter, 3rd down and 7 from the Aggie 17.
Jeff Allen in there. Kellamini makes a nice cutback. Didn't give him the touchdown, right down to the 1-yard line. Nice job, you can see. Good blocking by Vince Ferry up there at tight end. Correll Robinson, Jeff Allen's out leading the sweep, but Correll cuts it back and does a nice job keeping the legs going and spinning forward down to the goal line.
Just missed getting a touchdown at the end of the 3rd quarter. As we pick up the 4th quarter highlights, the Ducks mounting a drive. They were at the goal line, but got set back on a penalty. And on 4th down, Greg McCallum came in to boot the field goal. It was good from 19 yards out, and it proved to be the final points of the afternoon. 52-7, the score. A good drive, 14 plays, 73 yards. So we'll show you some sporadic coverage of the 4th quarter, a couple of plays that we need to mention. First of all, another fine punt return. The ball hits the ground, but there's Brown again, and he turned it upfield.
Makes a nice cut there. A very nice return. That ball could have rolled for another 10 or 15 yards down the field, and instead of letting it roll, he picked it up and made positive yards coming back the other way. Brothers in at quarterback now. Hands off to Kellamini, and Kellamini runs it up in there for a nice gain.
Gain of 9.
Kellamini's in now at tailback because Howard Blackwell's hurt. He takes the pitch here off the option by Brothers and picks up the first down.
Move the ball further in Utah State territory. Now you've, at this point, pretty much gone to a one-back set, double tight end, and just kind of power it out.
Got Obie Babs in there, I think, and Thad Hollab at tight end. Mark Spears in there right now with Thad Hollab, and Correll makes a spin move there, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Decide not to kick any more field goals or anything here, just run the clock out, and we don't make it on 4th down. Fumble a snap there, and Terrell Edwards, a redshirt freshman outside linebacker, makes the recovery. You can see Steve O'Connor in there pushing the center back, and good job in there by Bandison, but Terrell Edwards recovers the fumbled snap.
And that is the final play that we will see, the congratulatory handshake, 50-yard line, and the final score. The Ducks defeat Utah State 52-7. The Aggies drop to 1-3, and the Ducks improve to 4-1. Let's take a look at some of the final statistics as you look at the team stats. Let me recount some of the individual efforts. First of all, rushing the football. Burwell, an outstanding day, 129 yards rushing. The 3rd time this year he has gone over 100 yards. The first Oregon freshman to ever do that in a season, 3 times over 100 yards. Nice effort. And Kellamini added 78 of his own. Blackwell only 3 carries for 25. Bill Musgrave was 15 of 23, 187 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and of course led the Ducks to another victory at home. You see the fumbles, the turnovers, real big in this football game. Obviously, Utah State turned it over 4 times. Penalties, the Ducks again, a nice job there. In fact, since the first game, Coach, I think you've only had 5 or 6 total penalties since then. Very good job indeed. And the final set of team statistics, the interceptions, and once again, Tommy Thompson, another nice day booting the football. Coach, we've talked about a couple of the injuries in this football game. You also had Andy Connor injured the week before. Basically, what's the status as far as injuries?
Well, I think, you know, we didn't play Bud Bowie or Juan Shedrick. I'm hopeful that both of those will be able to play this week. And Andy Connor and Ernest Jones were definitely out. And I would say at least early the part of this week, they're still doubtful for the Washington game. Howard Blackwell will definitely be out for the Washington game. How much longer, I'm not sure, with a strained medial collateral ligament. And we had a bunch of other bumps and bruises. Jeff Thomason got a little hip pointer, but I don't think it's that serious, but only another day or two will tell us that. So I think we're okay with the rest of the injuries, and we just hope that we can get some of the other guys back healthy.
All right, coming up next for the Ducks, the stretch drive really in the Pac-10. 6 games remaining, and you start off with Washington, the only team in the conference that has not suffered a conference loss, as the Huskies have lost only 1 game all year, and that was to Colorado in Boulder. This is a team that's in the national rankings and appears to be as good as ever. Well,
they are as good as ever. They're for real. They're a great, great football team. Defensively, they remind me of the old Purple Rain defense they had. Now they're calling it the Purple Haze, I guess, and that, you know, everywhere you look, they're all over. They run extremely well. They just obliterate opponents' running games. I think they're first or second in the nation in rushing defense. They're a tremendous football team, and Lewis is a great running back, the best back we've seen. Burnell has tremendous athletic ability at quarterback, runs the option well. Their kicking game's outstanding. We got our work cut out for us. We're into the meat grinder, and it starts in Seattle. If we want to get in the race, this is obviously an important game for us.
All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the Huskies' victory Saturday night in Tempe against Arizona State, a game that they won 42-14 and really dominated this game from the get-go. They were outstanding in every phase of the game. You see down near the goal line, Lewis, he once again over 150 yards rushing. He leads the Pac-10 in rushing.
Well, they have a mammoth offensive line, averaging close to, and here's Burnell's athletic ability. Look at the speed he has. Just a tremendous athlete. They're running a lot more option. They're running him on sprint outs and roll outs more. Containment of him and keeping him in the pocket to where he doesn't have the ability to do those type of things would be imperative. Obviously, there's an option play down on the goal line. They run the option from anywhere on the field, and they run it extremely well. And here they are again, you know, the same old Huskies returning punts for touchdowns. A great effort, 81-yard return, just kind of ripped the game open for them.
Indeed it did, as they went down to Tempe, and as I said, they dominated this football game from the get-go. Of course, Seattle, a tough place for visiting teams to come in and win, but it has been done before, and the Ducks would like to do it next week. Of course, you will be able to see the contest on tape-delayed coverage on various stations throughout the state of Oregon on the Oregon Sports Network. I will be joined by Greg Mosier televising the contest from Seattle, so we hope if you do not watch that ball game live or tape-delayed that you will join us next week for all the highlights as we get the inside from the coach.
Oregon Football 90 with head coach Rich Brooks and KEZI Sports Director Todd McKim. Sponsored in